And what's interesting, I think it's worth looking at another heresy of Ratzinger to show how evil he actually is and what his real intentions are. In his book Principles of Catholic Theology, he actually makes an interesting statement. He says on page 184, he says, "From what has been said, it is clear that all Christian theology, if it is to be true to its origin, must be first and foremost a theology of resurrection." Okay, he says that, and he goes on, he says, "It must be a theology of resurrection before it is a theology of the metaphysical sonship of God." Well, why would he say that all Christian theology, if it is to be true to its origin, must be a theology of the resurrection? All dogmas don't come from the resurrection. Okay, it's true if you deny the resurrection, it's basically to deny the whole faith. But, like, for instance, the apostles believed that Jesus was the Son of God before his resurrection. Why does he want to wrap so much up into the resurrection? Why does he want to say that the origin of all dogmas is in the resurrection? Why, I didn't know why until I got to page 186 of his book, when I was reading this some time back. He says, quote, on page 186, "Thus the resurrection cannot be a historical event in the same sense as the crucifixion is." Well, now we see why he wanted to wrap everything up into the resurrection, because he goes on to deny that the resurrection is even a historical event in the same sense as the crucifixion. So therefore, if the resurrection is the origin of all dogmas, and the resurrection isn't really historical, that means that none of the teachings of the Church are really historical and really true. They're all based on this fiction, this experience, okay, what the modernists talk about of the resurrection. And so I found that interesting. And he actually goes on to explain that. And he says in page 184, "The sentence 'Jesus has risen' thus expresses that primitive experience on which all Christian faith is grounded." And this is exactly what Pius X condemned about modernists. He says, "By the modernists, tradition is understood as a communication to others through preaching by means of the intellectual formula of an original experience." What Pius X says is that the modernists, that someone has this experience. It's not really a true teaching. It's just an experience someone has, and then all the whole religion's based on this. And that's exactly what Ratzinger, Benedict XVI, is saying about the resurrection and basically the whole Christian faith.